Hi, welcome back. So now we're going to work on some drawing, and I'm going to apologize in advance because I am not good at this part, but I think it will help you remember these first letters that we have already went over today. So if you picture our original line we have that we are supposed to work in, we're supposed to work in between the lines. That's what they always taught us, right? So this is the top line, and then we're going to make a bottom line, but we're going to do it a different color. Let's say that one is the earth, or that is the sky, and this one down here will be our earth, and we're going to stay between these lines most of the time with all of our Hebrew letters, okay? Okay, so this is bad, but that's okay. What we need to do with the alif, the very first letter, we're going to have it come from heaven all the way down to earth. Beautiful little picture. Also a timeline you can almost see. And then we call this one a hand reaching down, the yod. And then once again, we have a hand reaching down to the earth. This is called the alif, the very first one. But that is the Hebrew letter now. The very first one looked like a bull, an ox, like we were talking about. And then we have, after that one, it kind of flipped. Let me get the next A. It looked more like a square, an ox. But it kept changing. You still had the ox figure. And then they got a little bit lazy. Instead of doing the ox, they kind of go, oh, I can draw this letter. And it became that. So now you see this letter in history. And it's kind of getting creepier. It's not the same. And then you flip that one upside down, what do you got? It no longer looks like the ox anymore, kind of like more goatish. So it's getting flipped again. So we take that one and we flip it this way, and what do we get? Our A. So this is our letter A. And it came from the alif, the ox, and now it's our letter A. And this is the Hebrew letter A. That's how we got it. And maybe you can see how things keep getting flipped or getting changed. But the original meaning was hidden because we don't know. Did Satan try and hide the original meaning of our alphabet so we wouldn't lose part of the scripture? Or did it happen at the Tower of Babel? Because look what happens. Let's find Israel here. And I should be faster at this. Okay, so here's Israel. And all language originates from here. How do we know that? Well, first we find our oldest writings here, and in Egypt. But from this direction around the world and from this direction around the world, everything is flipped the opposite direction. So they would write their words. Bereshit, for example, would go this way. You'd write this way over anyone this side of Israel. And then the other direction would write the other direction. So we would write this way. But everything the other way writes that way. And everything centers around Israel. So everything got flipped at this point. We can see the flip happen here. We know the flip happened here. Just the direction they read. But not only did the flip happen that, it happened to all the letters. All the letters started flipping. So let's see how the B flipped. So we have this big, beautiful B. The oldest B I got looked like it was on a half of a circle, like a planet. We find one written that way, you found one written that way. It's got your tent, your house right here. You've seen it written this way. I've seen it written all kinds of ways. This way it reminds me of the pyramids sitting on the world. This way it reminds me of this portion of the earth. If we took the earth and we divided it into 4 portions, and we put a house here, we put a house here, we put a house here, it's 4 different areas of the world, 4 quarters. So you can see a lot of people did this like this. But that was the original one. Then they got a little bit more lazy, put the house on a real straight timeline, no longer curving it on the world. This is actually our first B. The very first B. A tent, the tabernacle on the world. So, how did that change? How did that flip? We have the the B that looks like that. Which one is that? The beta?
Okay.
Yeah. And we have our B, which looks very familiar.
Right.
And then we have B's that go this way. Once again, flipped, 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 flipped. So when you see the house, the tent, any of the writings, regardless, the B is going to be the house. The tent, the tabernacle, a flipped version, a mirror version from Israel, flipping it the other direction. So we would not be all in the same language anymore. Maybe purposely planned by God so we didn't get to this point that we're at right now and be so smart. Because the original language, there's so much detail and so much amazing stuff that the picture wouldn't be lost. So that's the B, that's the C. Let's talk about the C. They had a really cute one, like I said, it looks like a check mark, kind of goes like that. Or like that. We kind of recognize that symbol. This is the walking. The Gamal goes like this. And it's supposed to be the leg walking. Look at the Chinese writing, symbol of human, of person. There it is. You see? Person walking. In Chinese, this is a woman. This is an argument. And 3 women together is adultery. Kid you not. So you can go look at the Chinese too and find the symbol of walking. Camel walking, human walking, walking to where? There. It seems to be walking to water. And with the Gamal, they also carry water, don't they? Through the desert. So we're walking to water. We're walking to learn this water, the living water. But this is the symbol here. So now our C, our G, has a little bit more something else to it. Okay, the door. I was so excited because I got to teach my son the door. And the door looked like that for my son. I was like, okay. And his name is David, so he gets the V. And that's the original V. And then another D. That's all I had to do to teach my son his name. So I like the D. The D is the door. And you can maybe picture the door. I would have liked it if they had done the door down more, but they didn't. That's a different letter.
That's a key.
Yeah, it is. It's the hey. Well, it's a cheat, because if you put the letter and it stop right here and you leave a little breath to come in it is a he. But when you do a tav, it goes like that. It gets a little foot. So these 3 letters are terribly confusing. The D, the he, and then the tav with the little foot. There's actually another one that's added in there. It goes like this, that is tight and closed, so that no air can get into. So yeah, it can get confusing, but neat that it's so similar. All these letters, once you learn this letter, you learn this letter, they're all the same. It just got to look for the little insignificances, and then you're done. And it's only 22 letters, so simple. Okay, so that's the door. And then, after the door. Oh, what is the door? That's so important. We didn't actually get to them. The door is so significant for multiple reasons. I don't know. Let me see. We're going to go on to the hay, though. Okay, so the hay is the little guy raising up. And sometimes you see him with legs, raising his hands up. And sometimes you see him, sorry about that. So sometimes you see him with a little squiggly and no legs with his hands up. So I sometimes think either this is death or a spirit form after we're being raised up. You do see this in their writing a lot. So it's the H. Like I say, I like to figure it as it's not actually, it's a head. So it's the ladder going up to God. Let's just say we talked about that just a little bit. So always remember the H hidden in there. Heaven is a ladder to God, right? What are the other things that you can think of with the H? So find similarity, whatever's going to help you go forward. And the H in Hebrew, so you don't forget it, is the door with a little crack right here. Make sure you leave a little breath coming in here and say hey. And that is in Psalms 119 verses 33 through 40. So I think he put little clues there also in the book so that you can go in and also learn more about the hay. So it's fabulous. It's neat. Okay, so before we move on, because this is where we stopped, I'm going to show you one more thing that I feel the Lord has revealed to me. And this is, you'll never find this on any other YouTube channel on the planet, because this is the brand new thing that I think that the Lord has showed. When I've been learning about the stars also, and when we used to play dot to dot, remember we played dot to dot? And we had to figure out where these dots went. These are the dots we're given. He said there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in Orion. Orion's belt. There's some certain key in Orion's belt. I'm going to show you this tonight. So we're going to go out in the stars and see this. This is an amazing thing. This one right here is called Betelgeuse. I'm not even going to try and write it. This one right here is Beatrix. These ones have some beautiful names. They're called the Three Kings. These are the ones that talked about in the Bible. He said, the oldest book of the Bible, Job. It's like, he was talking about this. Can you loose the bands in Orion's belt? The oldest book in the Bible. These people knew this. This has been lost. We don't go outside and look at the stars. We have no idea. We're out looking at the stars and clueless. There is a pattern. It is a dot to dot. This is Rigel. This is what I think the Lord has been showing me. The leaf. If the whole key is right here, and this is God and the strong one, they've made it, this is how the world has created it. They made it into, this is their figure. It looks like a time. Yeah. It is our time. It's our timeline here. Let's take this one, the planet's about to explode, Betelgeuse. It's different color than all of these. This is orange. And we'll look at it tonight. You'll see this is orange. These are different white. This one's about to explode, they say. Very much mimics Earth. So if we go from heaven to earth, and then we're reaching down, once again, God reaching down to us. The next star, and notice in the star right next to it, check out this. Right next to Orion, in the stars, is, and like I said, you will not, no one has seen this. I don't even know if this is dot to dot. This is what I saw. So, right next to Orion, let's put Orion up here, 3 belts, is super bright star right here. 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 Right here, super bright star. Aleph, Bet. Are they right next to each other in the sky? Because that's what I see. This one, if you make a pie chart here, this looks like a giant arrow pointing to our world, Betelgeuse. If there was some similarity. But I will show you this tonight, and you can decide for yourself. Is this a big hunter that looks really like a time clock in the sky? No, that was how they've hidden the message. How I realized that the Lord was hiding stuff in the sky is this, the very first constellation I ever looked at was this one. It's called Leo. Leo the lion. It is a platform with a pyramid. Go on NASA right now and you can see it. Leo with a Lamad, which we haven't learned that. That's the next Hebrew letter we need to learn. That one is the amazing one. So can we skip ahead to the Lamad? Because the story is in the Bible. The story is in the Hebrew. Guess what? The story is in the sky. There's a story. In case you missed it, you can go outside and learn the story from the stars. Because it's all up there. So let's take Leo and the house and the Lamad. This is a Hebrew letter. It's the biggest of all the Hebrew letters. Remember I said one stays in the frame? This one comes way out of the frame. It doesn't obey. It's like a huge hook. So it is what you might think of a question mark. Look at that. Similarity? Oh, which way did it get flipped? Oh, how do we draw it? We draw the big question mark. Oh, because what? The Lord is a question mark to us. In our language, we're still guessing. But in heaven, guess what? There's no dot. It's just the hook. It's just the hook. This is called the lamad. The very first time it was written, it was the hook. You see it written like that. You see it written all kinds of ways. The lamad is the hook. So if we take the house and the hook and we put it in Leo, the lion in the tribe of Judah, he's got the house and the hook all ready for us. This is a story in the stars that we have been lost because we didn't know the bee was a house. We didn't know the bee was up in the sky. It's crazy. So the Lord is amazing. It's hidden everywhere. His gospel's in everywhere. It's in everything. It's in every aspect of creation. It's in the stars. This is the lamad. Why do we learn Hebrew? Because we can read everything now. We can read stars. We can read the Bible. We can understand the hook. That also looks like what? A J? Jesus. Jesus is the hook. You see it? I will make you fishers of men. How do you fish? With the hook. You hook them. Okay, so he's going to hook us. He's going to grab us. He's going to take us up to his house in the heavens, the lion of the tribe of Judah. Thank you guys for coming today.